This video is sponsored by Skillshare. So I just came back from work. It is currently midnight and I can't really sleep. So I'm making this video for you guys. So please click the like button. So my S10 Plus has finally gotten Android 10 One UI 2.0. Oh my god, I need some coffee. One UI 2.0 Android 10. Bingo. So obviously I've been using the S10 Plus ever since it came out almost a year ago. Good lord, it's already been almost a year. That is crazy. So I've been using One UI 1.0 and One UI 1.5. Why is this so hard for me to say One UI? Anyway, those were very good. I never had any problems with it, but whenever like scrolling through random stuff, there would always be some slight minor stutter. I wouldn't even really call it lag. It was just some random like 1 FPS dropped randomly throughout just the user experience of the phone. But now with One UI 2.0, I said it right this time, it flies, man. This phone is like, I thought it couldn't get quicker or faster, and it did. One UI 2.0 feels like Samsung just breathed in fresh air into my phone, and I love you, Samsung, for doing that. God, it's almost been a year. Time flies when your life is spiraling out of control. So yeah, I'm super happy the phone finally has Android 10 One UI 2.0. I've had Android 10 before on the Pixel 4 and on the OnePlus 7T, and I've always wondered how it's gonna be like on the S10 Plus. And just a few days ago I got it and I've been using it, and so far I love it. Especially the new Android 10 back gestures, which are on pretty much any phone with Android 10. The back gestures alone are like one of my favorite things about Android, because on the iPhone you can only swipe back from the left side of the screen, but with Android 10 you can swipe back from either left or right side of the screen. So with Android 10 you can be a lefty, use the phone with your left hand for a little bit, then switch to your right hand, and the user experience is literally mirrored. It's the same exact thing. Using it either left-handed or right-handed, you can always swipe back without reaching all the way across the screen like you do with the iPhone. That is amazing. I don't know why Apple doesn't do that. The phone now feels super fast and super smooth, which is kind of weird, but in a good way, because before 2.0, the phone was very quick, but it wasn't very smooth, like the iPhone, for example, or like the OnePlus, for example, right? But with 2.0, the phone is both fast and smooth. It's a very similar experience to Oxygen OS on OnePlus, but again, OnePlus does take the cake because of 90 Hz refresh rate. But I'm telling you, this is the closest experience to fast and smooth other than going to OnePlus. And dare I say it, it is almost as smooth as the iPhone and faster than the iPhone, depending on some cases. I'm not going to do some weird speed tests, both phones open up different apps, different times. They're fast enough, okay, but in terms of smoothness, it is very, very close to an iPhone. Some few small things that have changed is if you go into the quick settings panel and you press and hold the dark mode, you can now apply dark mode to your wallpaper, similar to iPhone on iOS 13. This makes the UI experience a little more personal and just adds a little bit more just oomph, a little more mwah into the user experience of the phone. Another cool thing is, if you go into your navigation bar settings, select full screen gestures and click on more options, you can actually go back to the old gesture navigation, which mimic the 3 toggles for home, back, and recent. But I highly recommend sticking with the full gestures like the Android 10 gestures, because again, they're so very simple to use. Swipe up to go home. Obviously, that's been around for a long time with the iPhone. Haha. But if you swipe up and hold, you'll get to your recent apps, and then if you swipe back from either side, you'll obviously go back. They're very intuitive, super easy. I mean, I do not ever see myself going back to the 3 button toggles like on previous Android versions of this phone. Now, if you go back a menu, you can actually turn on or off the gesture hint, which will erase that little line on the bottom. Similar to like the iPhone has that line permanently on the bottom. Even if you already know what to do, it's still there. It's like iPhone, Apple, I don't need that line to be there on the bottom. Why do you keep it there? Just, we know what to do. Take it off. Another thing I noticed, and I'm not sure if this has been here or if it's new with Android 10 One UI 2.0, but if you add a fingerprint, there's a little pop-up that says make sure any screen protector you get works with the ultrasonic fingerprint sensor. I know Whitestone Dome is one of them that works with it. I'm pretty sure there are tons by now, but now there's a little pop-up window, and so I guess that's something new. Speaking of the fingerprint sensor, is the unlock any faster using the fingerprint sensor? Yes, it is. I mean, listen, it might be like psychological, but I definitely see a noticeable speed increase whenever unlocking the S10 Plus, especially if you use my trick. If you guys haven't seen my video, click somewhere here and watch the video. I'll show you guys a trick into putting your fingerprint the proper way for it to unlock almost 100% of the time. But this update, it unlocks way quicker, like, oh my god. But not only that, it actually unlocks smoother. I remember when I first got the S10 Plus, up until I think 1.5, there's always been a slight stutter with the animation when unlocking the phone, and it's been there even at 1.5, but it got a little bit better at 1.5. But now with 2.0, it's super smooth. I'm telling you, this entire One UI 2.0, they should have just called it One UI Smooth. It's just, that's what it is. So Samsung, whatever you guys are doing, keep at it, because it's working. But before we continue, guys, your favorite part is coming up. My channel would die in the fiery pits of hell if it wasn't for channel sponsors, and the sponsor of today's video is Skillshare. Skillshare is an online learning community where millions come together to take their next step in their creative journey. There are thousands of classes for creative and curious people on topics including illustration, design, video, photography, and more. Make 2020 a year where you explore your new skills and deepen your existing passions with Skillshare's online classes. What you find just might surprise and inspire you. Skillshare has classes designed for real life. Listen, everybody is busy, either working, doing your hobbies, so on and so forth. Skillshare has tons of videos that are nice and short, so that way you can help integrate them into your daily routine. Some of the classes that interest me as a creator would be film and video. You can find ample amounts of video on do-it-yourself cinematography, to aerial videography, and even something like iPhone videography. Whatever kind of interest you have, you can find it on Skillshare. In-person classes can be very expensive. Some of them can range up to a few $100s. With Skillshare, there's an annual plan, the annual premium membership, and that starts at less than $10 a month. Since Skillshare is sponsoring today's video, you guys get 2 free months by just simply clicking the link in the description and the link you see right here. Listen, 2020 just started. Make it good. Another cool thing I found out about Android 10 on the S10 Plus of mine is you can access the Google without saying, hey, Google. I put a pause there so none of your devices scream at you. Anyway, so if you're on the home screen, you can swipe up from either the bottom left or the bottom right corner to access that short little menu. Again, this has been on the Pixel, but now here it is on the S10 Plus. So now you can ask Google what the weather is instead of just stepping outside. Total game changer. Things have changed when entering one-handed mode. So now you can swipe down from the bottom of the screen and you're enabling one-handed mode. And let me tell you, you guys are going to need that for the upcoming S20 phones, because those phones are the size of the frickin' sun. I mean, Samsung, really? The smallest phone is going to be 6.4 inches? Alrighty. And the biggest one is going to be 6.9. Jesus, do we need that? Do we need that? That just seems a little too much. I just don't get it. But hey, one-handed mode, thank me later. The battery information has also changed on One UI 2.0, and now you can get a much more clean interface when looking at your battery info. When you click on battery usage, you will get the super friendly way of seeing the last 7 days of usage. If you click on the bars, you will see exactly what apps you have been using on that particular day, along with the screen on time. Another cool thing that has changed is the camera application. Thank God, Samsung, you guys are awesome. For me, for some reason, the camera application on One UI 1.5 and 1.0 has always been a little weird. Sometimes it would stutter for no apparent reason, but now with 2.0, as I've said before, everything is super smooth. You can scroll through the entire selection of all the things you got, you know, video, photo, live focus mode, everything Instagram mode. You can scroll through them like butter. But let's say you don't really want Instagram mode. Let's say you don't really use Instagram mode, right? Why should you have it on that main slider, right? Well, guess what? Now if you go to the very right, you'll see a tab that says more. You can click on it, you can click on edit, then you can actually remove Instagram from that main slider. So let's say you only really use photo and video, you don't use live focus mode. You can actually remove everything from there just to make things a little more nice and simple. Unfortunately, you do not have any video pro mode at the moment, but there are pretty much confirmed rumors that the S20 will have video pro mode to let you change your ISO, your shutter speed, your exposure. So just to again give you a little more professional, man, I can't wait for the S20. Oh, I'm so excited to check out that video pro mode, let me tell you. So yeah guys, that's pretty much it. That's all I wanted to do a video on. There are so many other things that has changed with One UI 2.0, but the main thing for me is that it's so pleasant to use. It's so smooth. And oh my god, I cannot wait for the S20 with the 120 Hz refresh rate screen with One UI 2.0. Ooh, man, Oxygen OS and OnePlus, you guys got some real competition coming. So yeah guys, that's pretty much it. If you guys enjoyed this video, please leave a like. It helps the YouTube algorithm not forget about me. And if you are new here, consider subscribing. Yes, of course I'm getting the S20. I might get the S20 Ultra or S20 Plus Ultra Prime Plus Plus. So if you guys want to see that, again, if you are new here, subscribe. And if you are not new here, stay subscribed. I mean, that's all I can say. All right guys, adios.